Sorry I didn't make a video yesterday. Some stuff came up. You know, busy, the works. It happens. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about something that's pretty important to me. Like, it's gonna get sappy, and it's gonna get sappy quickly. I was actually gonna wait out for this for tomorrow, but then I was like, no, actually today is a better day to make this, before I know what happens tomorrow. Because today, we're gonna talk about Homestuck. And yes, Homestuck is really important to me. And I'm gonna get into why. But if you don't want to know, if you don't like Homestuck, just go. I won't be upset. I probably won't notice. Sorry. So, today, I'm gonna tell you guys a story, okay? This is a story of a little 13-year-old who was scared and kind of lonely. This little 13-year-old, she had been friends with a girl all throughout elementary school, and she wasn't the greatest person, that other girl. She was rude, she was mean, and she constantly made our girl feel like shit. And our girl, she was too young. She didn't understand why. But the other girl said goodbye, and they went off to middle school. And our girl immediately found someone else just like that first girl. And she didn't realize that these weren't good people. They weren't the people she was supposed to be around. These weren't people that were going to lift her up and make her feel good about herself in the way that friends are supposed to. But how was she supposed to know? No one had ever told her. She just wanted to be a good person to these people who, if they were acting so mean, they had to be hurting, right? They had to be in pain too. So, this girl, around the end of 6th grade, she realized something. This person isn't good for me. They aren't going to be nice. Sorry, my nose is itchy. They aren't going to help her grow up or be that good person that she's supposed to be. And luckily, she had other people around her who understood that. So she told them. And they were like, you know what? We feel the same way. We don't like this other person. So, let's say goodbye to them. And they did. But our girl, she was still recovering from that. Because she had spent pretty much a lot of her life being told that she wasn't worth it. That she would always be second best. And that does a lot to a person. Especially a kid. So, zoom in the start of 7th grade. This girl, along with trying to deal with all that feeling of worthlessness that was starting to grow deep in her, she was also learning something about herself that she was scared of. She didn't like the boys in her grades. She thought they were scary and gross, and she didn't want to date them. No. They just made her feel disgusting. And she didn't know what that was. She had been told her whole life, oh, don't worry, you'll find a boy. You'll like him. All girls are boy crazy. Remember? But she didn't want to be boy crazy. She thought it was stupid. She thought it was really dumb and unnecessary. She just wanted to be around her friends. She didn't want to date any boys. And she didn't really understand anything about what she was feeling. So, around November of the 7th grade, she met a new friend. And that friend's name was Alex. And Alex said to our girl, hey, I have something you should read. But I'm going to show you something from him. Okay? What's your zodiac sign? And our girl went, Scorpio. And Alex moved their fingers on the keyboard and brought up a picture from this webcomic they read. And it was the scorpion troll. And our girl wanted to cry. That troll was the ugliest thing she had ever seen. And she was just like, they're not pretty. They don't look very nice. And Alex was just like, pshaw. They're a great character. That you're lucky. But mine is better. Because they had Virgo. And Virgo. Love me some Virgo. But that's besides the point. So that person set them down and said, alright, hey, read this. And our girl, who loved reading, she loved everything to do with books and comics and everything, she just started reading. And she was confused as hell. What was going on? Why don't they have arms? What? This art style is kind of weird. They didn't like it. But she kept reading because their friend kept saying, come on, it gets better. It's gonna get really good. And the girl found characters in there that she could connect with. That she thought, hey, this character is like me. And all the characters, they were the same age as her. They were 13. 13 years old. And they were saving the world. Or at least trying to. And our girl, she liked that. She liked the idea that these normal kids could just play a game with their friends and end up dooming and trying to save the world. So she just kept reading, even though it really didn't make any sense at all to her. Like, who were these kids? Like, why are they playing this game? What is this? What is this about? And she found herself really connecting with the main character, a little boy named John. And she thought, hey, I'm kind of like that. I'm like that dude. And that just kept happening. Just about every character she met, she thought, oh, this kid's like me. They're scared and they're unhappy. But they have friends. And I have friends too. And it just kept going. And she got engrossed in this. And soon it became her comfort. It became her life. When things got hard and she didn't know what to do, she turned to those characters. And somehow they always made things better. And by the end of 7th grade, she started to realize, hey, there's a reason I don't like the boys in my class. I'm just not attracted to them the way that my friends are. But the girls, she liked her friends. She liked the girls in her classes. Just not the boys. And she just kept on thinking about it. And she kept reading Homestuck. And she came across Rose Lalonde, and Kanaya Merriam. And they really liked each other. And they fell in love. And in that comic, they weren't shamed for it. There was nothing wrong with it. And to that girl, to our main girl right here, that meant the world. And she dated her friend. And just things started to make sense. She went through 8th grade. After she finished 7th, 8th grade was the only place left to go. And the Homestuck, they pushed her through that. Because she just kept being scared And she didn't know what was going on, because she now started feeling like there were days that she couldn't bear to get out of bed. She would roll over and she didn't want to move. She didn't want to deal with the world. She just wanted to close her eyes and go back to sleep forever. And she started feeling sad a lot of the time. But Homestuck pushed her through that, because she wanted to be like them. She wanted to help. She wanted to save the world. And it just kept pulling on her and pulling on her heartstrings. And after 8th grade, things did start to look up. She understood that what she was feeling was called depression. And she understood that she started to have anxiety too. She was starting to grow up. And right alongside her, these characters were growing up too. They were aging and learning and becoming different but better people. And that's just what she wanted to do too. So there was a time where it wasn't updating and nothing new was coming. And she went on to different things. She went on to read different stories, watch different TV shows. But deep in her heart, there was always a little bit of her that thought, hey, when there's nothing else, there's always Homestuck. And you can always find your way home to that. And that's what kept her going for a long time. Now, that little girl, in case you haven't met or figured it out, was me. And just, Homestuck pushed me through so much of my life. It helped me through so much. It helped me to become the person I am today. And it's ending tomorrow. It's going to be done. And that scares me a lot. Because this is such a big part of my life. And I don't know what's going to happen after it. Because they're still growing up, but I won't be able to see it, I think. It won't be the same. But I can try. I can be the person that maybe they are. Be good people and try and save the world again. So, even though I'm scared, and even though it feels like a big chapter of my life is about to end tomorrow, I'm just gonna keep going. And I know now something that I didn't know when I started reading back in the 7th grade. I know that, hey, maybe being stuck at home isn't the worst thing in the world. And you're gonna make friends and you're gonna lose friends along the way. And that's okay. Because it's all part of growing up. And that's what people don't understand about Homestuck sometimes. It isn't a story about fighting monsters and playing a video game with your friends, or even about saving the world. Homestuck has always been about growing up. And growing up, well, part of that is letting things go. But that doesn't mean that they're gone forever. It just means that they live in a different part of your heart now. But they're still there, and you can still go see them. So, to all of my friends out there, to everyone watching this video who's scared of what's going to happen tomorrow after the last update hits, and after everything gets cleared up, don't be. Because, hey, you're growing up, just like they are. And it's scary, and it's weird, and you don't really want it to happen sometimes, but it happens. And it's alright. You'll be okay. And just remember, you'll always be stuck at home.